Welcome to Low Tech Linux. This will be the first in what I hope to be many reviews done randomly from Distro Watch. Click random button. I went here and the first one that I got up was KDE Neon. This is certainly not a first look. I've tried KDE Neon several times in the past. As a self-proclaimed KDE Plasma fanboy, I have tried KDE Neon several times, desperately wanting to fall in love with it. And for me, it just kind of always falls a little short. In my opinion, Kubuntu is a better Ubuntu-based KDE Plasma distribution. From the KDE Neon website, I downloaded the user edition, which gave me 2020 07-23-1119.iso. On starting the install, this is a standard Ubiquiti installer from Ubuntu. If you've installed anything Ubuntu or Debian, you should be comfortable with this. You do have the option of clicking the install third-party software for graphical and Wi-Fi hardware as an additional media formats. I do actually find it interesting that this correctly gets my location, whereas Ubuntu and Kubuntu, neither one does. They both put me in Chicago. This KDE Neon has actually put me in New York time, which is correct. We'll also say that this has one of the prettiest installer slideshows that I've seen in a little while, actually. Nice. So after this has fully installed, doing the upgrades, I have 126 to upgrade. I do think it's important to make a point to note out that KDE Plasma, I think it's important for me to note that KDE Neon is based on Ubuntu LTS. And this KDE Neon that I just downloaded is still based on Ubuntu 18.04. The thing that I've never really liked about Neon is, yes, you get bleeding edge KDE Plasma, but everything else is old. Everything else, if you need the most recent version of GIMP or Audacity or Ardor, something like that, you're not going to get the latest and greatest, because that's going to download based on Ubuntu 18.04. You might be able to get the latest and greatest in a PPA or in a snap, something like that. And that's fine. Just making sure that you're aware of that. So I want to real quickly explain what I mean by Neon being a mix between bleeding edge, KDE Plasma, and not bleeding edge everything else. So I'm going to do a quick comparison of Neon to the Manjaro Linux that I'm currently running. Take, for example, that Manjaro and KDE Neon are both running KDE Plasma version 5.19.4. They are both running KDE Framework version 5.72.0. However, the Qt version confuses me. KDE Neon Qt version is 5.14.2. Manjaro Qt version 5.15.0. Why in the world would KDE Neon be that far behind in the Qt version, when the very foundation of KDE Plasma is Qt? Why doesn't Neon keep Qt bleeding edge, since that's their bread and butter? Manjaro, I have 5.7.12-1 kernel. In Neon, we have 5.4.0-42. And that kernel being that old in Neon comes from Ubuntu LTS 18.04. Now let's take a quick look at Opengl Versions. In Manjaro, Opengl version is 4.6, Mesa 20.1.4, Opengl version 3.1. That's compared to 4.6. And Mesa 20.0.8, that's compared to 20.1.4. X server, Monjero vendor release number is 1.20.8. Neon is 1.19.6. VLC is installed by default on KDE Neon. The version is 3.0.8. I do not have VLC installed on Monjero, but doing a Pac-Man information search, they have 3.0.11. So anyway, I digress. I believe you understand what I mean by cutting edge plasma, not cutting edge anything else. KDE Neon comes with a very minimal amount of applications pre-installed. I'm going to go through those applications now. Under graphics, you have GwenView and Ocular. That's it. Under Internet, you have Firefox browser. You have KDE Connect, which is amazing. I love KDE Connect. KDE Connect SMS, which is cool. And open on connected device via KDE Connect. For multimedia, we have VLC Media Player, and that is all. I don't know that VLC is the best we've got anymore. MPV media players become pretty awesome. Under the Office tab, we have Ocular Document Viewer. That is it. Under the System tab, we have Discover Software Center, Dolphin File Manager, Info Center, Console Terminal, KSysGuard System Monitor, and KWallet Manager. Under Utilities, we have ARC, Archiving Tool, Emoji Selector, KWrite, and Spectacle Screenshot Capture Utility. Anything else that you might need to install will be from the Ubuntu repositories. Anything that's Ubuntu related should be there, including snaps. It's actually a really good minimal system that you can build a more detailed system upon. So let's go through pros and cons. This is my list only. Under pros, you have KDE Plasma Bleeding Edge. You have Ubuntu Base that has pretty much anything you need to install at your fingertips. A pretty simple and straightforward installer with Ubiquity. And a minimal install that you can build upon. Under cons, I would also put that under cons that you have very minimal install, and if you really don't know what you're doing and you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know what you want in apps, you might not get what you really need. Another con is that it is on Ubuntu LTS 18.04. It's pretty old, but as far as I know, when 20.04.1 releases, then Neon should go to the 20.04 release. My ranking for this as a new installer, as a new user install, I would give it a fair rating. That is my quick review of this random pick. Until next time, I bid you adieu.